This film just literally felt like an episode of a Moana TV series, and they just put it into a film because there's nothing too big, threatening going on within Moana 2. What is up, guys and Disney fans? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is On the Brinkcat, and today I'm going to review the latest animated film, and that film is Moana 2. This film is the latest Disney film, and also this film is the sequel to the successful 2016's Moana, and this movie stars the return of Auliʻi Cravalho and Dwayne Johnson. After receiving an unexpected call from her way-finding ancestors, Moana and Maui must journey to the far seas and into dangerous long-lost waters for an adventure unlike anything they've both ever faced. So we got a sequel to Moana out right now, and I loved the first Moana. I thought the first Moana really blew me away. It's definitely one of my favorite Disney films of all time. It's a film that has great characters, great songs, beautiful animation, and it has a very cohesive story. Dwayne Johnson was great as Maui, and back then for newcomer Auliʻi Cravalho as Moana, she is fantastic, and throughout the years she's became a great actress, so her returning back to her first role that changed her life, it's really good treat to see. Now, Moana 2 was actually meant to be a TV series on Disney+, which I was actually wondering, I'm like, where's the Moana TV series? But now they decided to just make Moana 2. And I was actually excited for this movie because honestly, Disney is just not doing great right now. And I feel like Moana 2 can just bring that back again because we have so many Disney original films out right now that haven't been receiving great reviews from me and from everyone. Movies including Strange World and especially Wish. That movie really disappointed me. So I was giving Moana 2 as much chance as I can, and unfortunately, guys, really, I walked out of this film really disappointed. Now, is Moana 2 a terrible movie? Absolutely not. Moana 2 definitely has its positives. Absolutely the biggest positive that I would give Moana 2 is absolutely the animation. The animation, once again like the first one, is beautiful. There are some great shots in this movie. Especially I watched this film on the biggest screen possible, and there are some really beautiful animation details that it looks really beautiful. The animation Moana 2 is flawless. It looks great. Also, the voice cast. Auliʻi Cravalho returning as Moana, she is still great when it comes to the musical sequences and seeing Moana basically grow in this movie, and I feel like Auliʻi Cravalho really performed Moana once again really freaking well. And of course, Dwayne Johnson as Maui once again is fantastic. He's not in the movie as much as we think he would. He was definitely more of a big thing in the first one than this movie. He's more of a supporting character in this one. But when he is on screen, Dwayne Johnson still has that likable presence as Maui. And I do still think the chemistry between Moana and Maui is still really good in the film, even though they're not in the movie together all that much. And I would say, in my opinion, the third act of Moana 2 is where the film starts to get picking up for me. It was entertaining. That's when the stakes kind of go high a little bit. I think the third act is, to me, the best part about Moana 2, honestly. Because building up to the third act, unfortunately this film just felt like a cash grab to me. I think one of my biggest problems with Moana 2, honestly, is that this film doesn't up the stakes than the first movie. This film just literally felt like an episode of a Moana TV series, and they just put it into a film because there's nothing too big, threatening going on within Moana 2. It just felt like another Moana adventure, and if you're fine with that, you'll like this movie. To me, I want a sequel that has a bit more stakes than the original, because I feel like that's what a sequel should do. Up the stakes more than the original, explore more of the world of Moana than the original. But unfortunately, this film is very choppy and very rushed. This film didn't get time to explore everything, really. And let's talk about the other characters in Moana 2 as well. There's this crew that Moana goes along with in this film that I find these characters very stereotypical and very forgettable. Like, I barely remember these characters' names, really. There's like one character that loves building boats. There's one character that is a fan of Maui. There's this old guy character that's afraid of the ocean. Also, the chicken and the pig, they're there for the same jokes as the first movie. Literally, the rest of the characters in this film are forgettable. Even the villains of this film are forgettable. There's this villain that you see in the trailer. She's only in this movie for like 10 minutes. I'm not joking. She has her own song, and she's out of the picture. Basically, the main villain of Moana 2 is a storm. I'm not joking, that's literally the main villain of this film. Unfortunately, this film just felt like one of those straight-to-video Disney sequels, and they just put it into theaters. That's what it literally felt like to me. The movie was so choppy, it was so rushed. There's no bigger stakes with Moana 2. Literally, I haven't felt a single moment where I'm like, I'm excited to see what's going on, because this film literally copies some tropes from the first Moana, but just make it about a different island, really. It literally feels like that Disney doesn't know what to do with this property. Either make it a TV series or a sequel. And after watching this, I'm like, it literally felt like different episodes of the TV series and they just put it into one movie. Also, the songs in the movie. Let's get into the songs. I almost forgot about the songs. They're also very forgettable. They're literally carbon copies, in a way, of the same songs from the first Moana movie. We get the How Far I'll Go moment in this movie. We get the You're Welcome moment in this film. I'm not gonna lie, the You're Welcome song in this movie, Can I Get a Little Chihu from Dwayne Johnson? I thought that song was alright. It's probably the best song of the movie, but the rest of the songs in this movie, I just find very forgettable. I don't remember a single name of the songs, and Lin-Manuel Miranda didn't return for this movie, and you can really tell. I feel like Lin-Manuel Miranda adds more of a great flair to the first Moana movie, makes Moana, the first movie, very memorable. But unfortunately, this movie tries to be like Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I just thought the songs in the film are just completely forgettable to me. There are not much songs that I absolutely remember, unfortunately. But you know what? Kids will like this movie. This is definitely more demographic for kids, really, which it's a bummer because the first Moana is definitely demographic for families. This is more for kids. Even the jokes in this film aren't funny. There's a lot of the same jokes from the first movie, a lot of those chicken jokes from the first movie that came back to this movie, and it's definitely for kids jokes. There are some really bad kids jokes in this film, but if kids laugh at it, I guess it works for kids, but that's missing the point. Moana is supposed to be a film for families, and this movie just felt like, yeah, a straight-to-video sequel that's very choppy, that is pretty much for kids, really. So kids, go watch Moana 2. I think you will enjoy this movie. Overall, guys, for me though, Moana 2 really let me down. I was expecting a lot more from this movie. I still think the animation is beautiful. Auliʻi Cravalho and Dwayne Johnson are still great in the film. There are some entertaining scenes, but overall, it's just a very forgettable and lackluster sequel that's very choppy, very rushed. It doesn't have the time to explain the plot. It just gets straight into it. The songs are also very forgettable. It is one of those movies that I feel like it could have been much better. Maybe it needs different writers, because I think a sequel to Moana is a great idea. I want to see the world much more explored, and you have that here, but it doesn't really have much explanation. It didn't take its time to tell a story. It just goes boom, boom, boom. It just rushes to that, trying to get this movie done with, basically. So yeah, Moana 2 is definitely going to be in that category of my disappointing movies of the year. It's not a terrible movie by any means. It's not the worst movie of the year. I don't hate this movie. There are some entertaining aspects, but this movie is definitely a big step down from the first Moana movie. I gotta say, for Moana 2, in my opinion, just go skip this movie. But for kids, you should definitely see this movie. I think kids will enjoy this movie. It's a fun Moana adventure for kids. But unfortunately for me, from a guy that loves the first Moana, I expected a lot more from Moana 2. So guys, that's my review for Moana 2. Let me know what you figured of this film in the comments below. Do you like the film, hate the film, or you thought it's okay? Just let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.